Welcome to HFY Vault channel. Real stories, real feelings. If you feel something today, stay with us.
Human forced to marry an alien woman older than him, what happened changed everything. No one in the Galactic Council room was breathing. Not because they could not, but because what was about to happen had never happened before. A human was about to be forced into marriage. Ethan Cole stood alone in the center of the giant hall. He was only 24 years old. His hands were tied with energy bands. Around him were tall alien leaders with glowing eyes, metal skin, and long sharp claws. In front of him stood Commander Zelira. She was not just an alien. She was a legend. Zelira was from the Kryn Empire, one of the oldest and strongest alien races in the galaxy. She was over 90 years old, but Kryn aged slowly. To them, she was still in her prime. She was tall, strong, and cold. Her silver eyes showed no emotion. The council speaker spoke loudly. By galactic law, to prevent war, the human male Ethan Cole will marry Commander Zelira of Kryn. Ethan's heart pounded. Humans were new to space. Weak. Small. Outnumbered. Earth had lost a short war against the Kryn Empire. This marriage was the price of peace. Ethan thought. This is it. My life is over. The crowd watched in silence. Zelira stepped closer to Ethan. She looked down at him like he was nothing more than a fragile animal. She spoke slowly. Humans are weak. Emotional. Short-lived. But your leaders begged for peace. She turned to the council. I accept the bond. That single sentence changed Ethan's life forever. After the marriage, the wedding was cold and fast. No smiles. No joy. Ethan was taken to the Kryn warship Obsidian Falling, Zelira's command ship. The moment they entered hyperspace, Ethan realized something. He was not a husband. He was a prisoner. Zelira did not speak to him for days. He was given a small room near the engine deck. Kryn soldiers watched him everywhere. They laughed at him. They called him soft skin. One night, Ethan finally asked a guard. Why me? The alien guard laughed. Because you are nothing. Easy to control. That night, Ethan stared at the metal ceiling. Humans are not nothing, he thought. They just don't know us yet. The first test. 1 week later, the ship was attacked. Pirates. The alarm screamed. The ship shook. Zelira rushed to the bridge. Ethan was locked in his room. Suddenly, the lights went out. The ship lost power. Then something worse happened. The main reactor began to overload. A Kryn officer shouted. We will lose the ship. Zelira growled. Seal the reactor deck. But sealing it meant one thing. Everyone inside would die. Ethan was near the reactor. Through the emergency speakers, he heard the warning. Reactor meltdown in 5 minutes. Ethan knew something the Kryn did not. Humans were different. They could survive radiation longer. They could think fast under fear. He broke the emergency panel and ran to the reactor. The heat burned his skin. The radiation alarm screamed. Using old human engineering tricks, he manually vented the core and rerouted power. It should not have worked. But it did. The ship stabilized. When Zelira arrived, she saw Ethan collapsed on the floor, badly burned but alive. For the first time, her eyes changed. Not anger. Not cold. Curiosity. A human is not weak. Ethan spent days in the medical chamber. Zelira visited him. She stood quietly beside the bed. You should be dead, she said. Ethan smiled weakly. Humans do crazy things when needed. Zelira studied him. Why did you help us? Ethan looked at her. Because I don't quit. And because this ship has innocent people. That answer stayed with her. From that day, things changed. The guards stopped mocking him. Zelira allowed Ethan to walk freely on the ship. She even began training him. Kryn combat was brutal. Most humans would break. Ethan did not. He was slower. Smaller. But he was smart. He learned patterns. He adapted. Every time he fell, he stood back up. Zelira began to respect him. Slowly. Quietly. The truth about Zelira. One night, Zelira spoke honestly for the first time. My first mate died saving this empire, she said. I was never meant to marry again. Ethan listened. They chose you to control humans, she continued. But you were not what I expected. Ethan replied. And you're not the monster they told us about. For a long moment, they just looked at each other. Not as enemies. Not as forced partners. But as two soldiers shaped by war. The final trial. Months later, the Galactic Council called them back. The Kryn Empire planned to break the peace treaty. Humans were to be enslaved. Zelira was ordered to stand aside. She refused. The council laughed. What will you do? They asked. Side with a weak species? Zelira stepped forward. She placed her hand on Ethan's shoulder. This human saved my ship. Saved my crew. Saved lives. She raised her voice. Humans are not weak. They endure. They adapt. They rise. The council challenged Ethan to prove humanity's worth. One trial. A survival arena against a trained alien warrior. Ethan entered the arena alone. No weapons. No armor. The alien was twice his size. The crowd expected blood. The fight was brutal. Ethan was thrown, beaten, crushed. But he did not stop. He used the environment. He used timing. He used will. In the final moment, Ethan outsmarted his opponent and forced a surrender. The arena went silent. Then, applause. From aliens. From enemies. From the galaxy. What changed everything? The council changed the treaty. Humans were declared a protected and respected species. Earth was free. Zelira resigned from the War Council. She chose Ethan. Not by force. By choice. Their marriage became a symbol. Not of control. But of unity. Ethan returned to Earth one last time. He stood before human leaders and said, We are small. But we are strong. Never forget that. As the obsidian fawn left Earth's orbit, Zelira stood beside him. You changed the galaxy, she said. Ethan smiled. No, he replied. We just showed them who humans really are.
More feelings are coming. Like, subscribe, and don't miss them.